Ibrahim El-Zazaki. Take a listen to this one.
The freedom of our leader, who has been kept under illegal detention for more than 2 years, despite court judgment, court order, the federal government to free him within 45 days. But today is 108 months. The government is keeping mute and is keeping him with life-threatening injury. One of his eye is already blind and the other one is at the verge. And the doctors has requested that the government should free him and fly him abroad for medical treatment because they don't have facilities here in Nigeria to handle his case.
And away from this one now, corruption, incompetence and delay in dispensation of justice have been identified as the core enemies of judicial integrity in Nigeria. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, who was represented by the Justice Olabode Rhodes Vivo at the Lagos State Judiciary First Biannual Lecture, ordered that these enemies need to be tackled if judiciary must earn the respect of the citizens. Take a listen to this one.
It's very fundamental that we come together as a family of the legal profession and talk to ourselves, tell ourselves the home truth and assess ourselves. That is the way we can improve in what we are doing, in our performance, in serving the people of Lagos State.
Public assessment, uniform and wrong perceptions.
It's an aberration of justice because justice delayed is justice denied. Therefore, if we are going to have a case lasting, I have personal remembrance of that for 20 years. Even the effect of judgment will be almost useless. Some of the litigants will have passed away.
The judiciary that is not independent, it's not a judiciary. We are pontificating. We are not talking about the independence of the judiciary. Some judges, some chief judges of states are here. With all respect to some chief judges of states, they are merely headmasters. Because they don't have anything. If you're talking of independence, you don't have independence of law forms.
And that's how much you can take on the news making headlines. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at the front page of the dailies. Good morning once again.
The judiciary, third arm of government. What happens here is what we give to you. The arraignments, arguments, rulings, adjournments of cases and judgments. The fight against corruption and issues bordering on human rights violations.
The doctrine of least spenders ought to have been respected, that no arm of government, however powerful, should take the laws into its hands as held by the Supreme Court.
Justice is one way. It's either you go for justice or justice go after you. But I've never seen a situation where an individual is afraid of justice.
We move from court to court to give you updates on legal matters, when they happen and where they are happening, going extra miles to get reactions from the parties, even when they're not in the mood to speak.
No comment. Talk to my lawyer.
Watch Legal Scope on CoreTV News at this time.
Hi, I am Anita Patrick, host of your program Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory from the Office of the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
I appeal to all of us citizens, leaders, politicians, and all to support this team to be able to restore the Abuja Master Plan.
To the streets that involves every boy, every girl, every man, every woman, and every youth on the streets, unfolding of happenings in the nation's capital territory.
Our challenge here is kidnapping, and the secret is there. It's a very short journey. You don't have to go as far as Abaji before you know what is happening in Kuji.
All of us, we don't know, in short, we don't know where to put head, because definitely our children, They are hungry.
So join me at this time on CoreTV as we take you on a tour on Nigerian seats of power.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dullards that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that ballot.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station. CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CoreTV.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
On the day late this morning, Nigerians encourage corruption, cites Jane Festa of the Punch newspaper. Amid Nigerian Governors Forum calls for Okonjo Iweala's resignation. Page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The Daily, every day on CoreTV News.
Welcome back on the program. Well, this morning we are now on the dailies, and I have here the Vanguard newspaper, The Guardian, The Punch, and our last point of call is The Nation newspaper. I've been joined by Rex Kennedy Sutlove. He's a public affairs analyst and also President, Executive Director of Citizens Liberation Initiative. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Well, we'll kickstart with the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Corruption started after me. This is coming from Gowon. Arts that we didn't know corruption during our time. It is a lie. Your government's also guilty. This is coming from Sage Musa Fashion Okoromo. We need solution, not blame game. Adebanjo speaking. 320 million US dollar Abacha loads to go to poor Nigerians. The president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, there speaking. And we have the picture story of the anti-corruption here from the left. And former head of state, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, Commonwealth Secretary General Baroness Patricia, Scotland Vice President there. Also, we have the Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Laji Ibrahim Mago there, and all other dignitaries at that particular gathering. Impeachment saga, armed policemen take over Kano Assembly, page 35 of the Vanguard newspaper. Patient groan as health workers strike persists, page 39 of the Vanguard newspaper. Dozen die in Gaza as U.S. Embassy opens in Jerusalem, page 44 of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's go to the masthead now. Ultimatum, that's the NPDP, that's the new PDP splits as Abdullahi Adamu's faction disowned Baraje Oyinlola. So that means there is another faction in the NPDP. Well, let me let you speak at this time. What do you make of this one? Ultimatum. This is going to be part of our discussion this morning. We'll be looking at internal wranglings in political party. What's your take on this?
Well, there will always be, because people will always like to protect their interest. Like the first thing, majority of the politicians in our setting are not fighting for the masses. And that is the reason why people are shifting blocks and cross-carpeting. Because if you begin to look at, which is part of things that we're going to discuss on, the people at the new NPDP, new PDP, that are all members of APC right now, they left from PDP, and now they are still cross-carpeting. And with the new alignment that is coming on now with the ADC and SDP and other parties, obviously you see a lot of people still cross-carpeting.
Okay, it's all about alignment and realignment for the 2019 elections. But big one on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Corruption started after me. Go on speaking. You're smiling. Well, Salt Love, what do you make of this?
I will smile because it was the same Gowon that said that we have so much money, we don't know what to do with it. And when you have so much money and you don't know what to do with it, you give room for abuse of mismanagement of funds, and it goes into private pockets. So what we call corruption, when you begin to bypass due process of achieving something. So you can't say they start with it. It will not be very evident the way it is right now, but obviously there was corruption.
And well, it's a lie. Your government also guilty. Sage has given reaction to that. Musa Fasheum Okuromu.
And they will back it up with proof and evidence to him. But the truth is both of them are right. This is not the time for blame game.
Okay.
This is time to provide solution from where we are coming from to where we are going.
$320 million budget load to go to poor Nigerians. So how do we define Nigerians that
Number
are
one,
poor?
we have to define who are poor Nigerians. Are they the graduates that are leaving universities that are not even employed at all and don't have a means of livelihood? Are they people who are employed and they are underpaid? Or are they people who are in the streets? Nigeria is 180 million in number, conservatively. Now, if you carry 320 million naira and you say you want to give $1 million or $1 million whatever to people, they will make something meaningful out of that. But secondly, how are you going to develop the database for the poor that we will not say this money does not go into the hand of private individuals?
Okay, Leah Sharibo at 15. The pain which continues on the front page.
It's very painful because
the
government consciously told us they specifically negotiated for the release of the people that were kidnapped in that chain. Why was she excluded?
Okay, that's a big story at this time.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the Mr. and Mrs. Quite comical this morning.
Yeah.
Let's listen to this. He told me he told my friend that he's a banker when they were dating. She discovered that he's just an office assistant after marriage. Men are deceitful. That's the comment coming from the missus.
From the missus, yeah.
Now, how deceitful are men? Listen to the response. Things are not what they look like. Figure 9 is just one figure instead of 9 and a 4-letter word. So are men deceitful?
Well, I'm a clergy first.
Okay, a banker, and discover that he's an office assistant.
Yeah, she should not follow what the friend told him. She should have found out by herself.
Really? Well, that's just what I want to derive from that part. I got that comic relief from you.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And the big story here says gunmen in Bayelsa attack Air Force helipad, kill airman, and Air Vice Marshal order investigation into this one. Gunmen in Bayelsa attack Air Force helipad, kill airman. Indeed, quite pathetic there. And we have the picture story here of the civic rights movement. Mumudondu marches against killing of innocent Nigerians by herdsmen in Abuja. Well, they're talking that they should be declared as terrorists.
Seriously.
Are you also sharing in this?
Very more than I more than agree with them. If there's anything like that.
Okay, Rivers Assembly to petition UN, EU over invasion of judiciary. Yeah, President seeks reform of Convention on Recovery of Stolen Assets. APC leaders talks Buhari on rule of law. And resident structures in grave danger as tankers trucks defy Lagos government military's orders to quit bridges. Judiciary needs men of honor to deal with executive recklessness, says CJN. Do you also share this?
Very much, yeah.
Okay. Federal government promises early completion of 22.3 billion naira Lagos-Ota-Bekuta Expressway. Police arrested alleged Jewish worshipper for terrorism. Federal government promises early completion of 22.3 billion naira Lagos-Ota-Bekuta Expressway. What do you make of this?
It will be a big relief if that is achieved. Because some of us look like that road and we know how terrible it is. And if that one is achieved, it's going to be a big plus for this administration, honestly.
Okay, let's move on now to the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. And the big story here says graft won't end until justice catches up with corrupt leaders. This is coming from Shoyinka, page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Serap Kakao, CD Bags Nobel laureate. And we have the picture story of troops rescue old man from Boko Haram. Page 14 here of the Punch News. What do you make of this picture story?
Well, Boko Haram has been merciless. They have not considered human being. And secondly, we will still through some. It's not blame. We will hold the government responsible for not meeting up to its promises by saying that by the moment they come to power within 6 months, Boko Haram will be extinct. And yet, the 3 years that we are still contending with the issues of Boko Haram kidnapping and taking people doesn't speak well of a man who has been in the military as head of state and in various capacity, and is not able to live up to his words and what he has said.
Are you saying that the president has not been able to live up to his words with the successes we are seeing in the fight against this terrorist group?
Well, the previous administration was already attaining some level of success from about 6 states that were almost being occupied by Boko Haram by setting them back to setting level almost about 3 or thereabout. If you come into office, you see by the time you come within 6 months, this thing should be addressed and we'll have peace of mind. And 3 years we are still battling it and we are rescuing people. That's not a big achievement compared to what you tell the masses.
Are you saying Nigerians are not having peace of mind contending this one? When last did you visit the Northeast?
I've not visited the Northeast for some time. Despite the fact that I stayed in the North for about 18 years. I was in Middle Belt, Niger State, Kaduna, and all those particular places. But from what I have friends who come from the Northeast that told me that there is at least slight level of peace.
Okay.
Honestly speaking, slight level of peace. But the incessant attack of Boko Haram, if it is not S-men today, it is Boko Haram. And they are being given new names now by government to become armed bandits. Where did they get the arm from? Who is arming them?
Okay, well, that's a story for another day. Let's move on now to the more stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Banker links Fayoshe to 1.2 billion naira allegedly collected from Dansuki. Page 11 of the Punch newspaper. The CO injured, vehicle vandalized as Shite police clash. This is one of our big stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. APC crisis cracks in NPDP as ultimatum expires. So there's another cracking even in the NPDP. So where exactly are we going? These are more issues we'll be looking at on the program this morning. Investors lose 125 billion naira as 32 stocks fail. Page 27 of the Punch newspaper. 2 Nigerians batter fellow students over who has the richest dad. This is quite funny.
And it's not just funny, it's still pathetic.
Okay.
Because students should not be talking about where they should be talking about value they are going to add in the society, not who is the richest dad. It should be what value we're going to put in the society. If they were fighting over ideas,
or creativity.
Yeah.
FJ begins repair of Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, page 24 there of the Punch. Let's go on to the masthead now. Nwako Ajiboye make provisional walk-up lists, page 45 there of the Punch newspaper. You watch football?
Very much.
All right. Well, you did tell me that you're one of the fans of the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Yeah, very much. I'm a interested to my country.
So, where do you see them at the World Cup? Final, semi-final?
I told my family.
Quarter-final?
I want them to get to semi-final. I want to carry the cup safe.
Okay, you're quite optimistic.
Very, very much. We have the strike force. We have the team.
Okay, NMPC issues a 2-year crude lifting contract to traders. page 23 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We only recognize authorized canvassers. APC speaking, and you have the picture story of John Odigo Yegun there. Judges appointed politicized. CJN laments. It's a lamentation from the CJN at this time. BBOG demands updates on rescue as Leah Sharibu clocks 15.
It will be a growing concern. We will hold the government responsible because they said they negotiated for the guests to be released. Why was she excluded?
Okay. Let's move on now to the front page of the Nation newspaper. And the big story is ex-PDP leaders to Buhari shown ultimatum for talks. Baraje Oyinlola lied, says Adamu. Oshimbajo, while loot recovery is tough. Why is this tough?
I think it's the legal framework. Because the legal framework for recovering loot is very clear and not too ambiguous, leaving a lot of clauses inside that can allow people to do bargaining and play bargain and every other thing. I think it will be very easy. It is not go value for play bargain.
And we have the list of the ex-and PDP chiefs and what they got. Bukola Saraki, Senate President, Yakubu Dogara, House of Reps Speaker, well, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Chairman, Senate Committee on Agriculture there, and Abdullah Adamu, Senator Adalo Alero, Chairman, Senate Committee on Customs, and there you have quite a list of them, like that. Senator Rabi Kwankaso, Chairman, Senate Committee on National Planning, and Senator Danjuma Goje, Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriation there. And we have Buratai two soldiers arrest killer bandits in 3 weeks. This is another ultimatum.
And they don't come to pass.
Are you saying they don't come to pass?
They don't show us proof that they have achieved any progress in what they have done.
You
How
get
many of the killer bandits will they be able to arrest?
You get details of that on page 41 there of the Nation newspaper. PDP moves Dankwabo for president. Really?
Let them get them out first. We are still watching until they bring out their final candidates. Every person is what do we call it? Any person is a potential candidate within PDP.
Or you call them potential aspirants.
Potential aspirant, yeah.
Okay.
Potential aspirant, yeah.
Rivers APC Abe 6 presidential or president help, page 42 there of the Nation newspaper. Lagos Abeokuta Road repair to cost 22.3 billion naira. Moses Iwobi Michael, 27 others for walk-up. Page 47 of the Nation newspaper. And oil prices raised to 80 now.
No, that's encouraging.
US dollar per barrel. That's encouraging.
It's encouraging, sir.
Okay, and that's how much we can take on the news making headlines. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at the Shiites versus the police clash in Abuja yesterday. Do not go anywhere. The show has just begun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
On the day list this morning, Nigerians encourage corruption, cites June 1st of the Punch newspaper. Amidst Nigerian governors forum calls for Osunjo Ibiala's resignation. Page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The Daily, every day on CoreTV News.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News Broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live. CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CoreTV.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu.
On human rights violations.
The doctrine of least spenders ought to have been respected, that no arm of government, however powerful, should take the laws into its hands as held by the Supreme Court.
Justice is one way. It's either you go for justice or justice go after you. But I've never seen a situation where an individual is afraid of justice.
We move from court to court to give you updates on legal matters, when they happen and where they are happening. going extra miles to get reactions from the parties, even when they're not in the mood to speak.
No comment. Talk to my lawyer.
Watch Legal Scope on CoreTV News at this time.
Hi, I am Anita Patrick, host of your program Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory from the Office of the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
I appeal to all of us citizens, leaders, politicians, and all to support this team to be able to restore the Abuja master plan.
To the streets that involves every boy, every girl, every man, every woman, and every youth on the streets, unfolding of happenings in the nation's capital territory.
Our challenge here is kidnapping, and the secret is there. It's a very short journey. You don't have to go as far as Abaji before you know what is happening in Kuji.
All of us, we don't know, in short, we don't know where to put head. Because definitely our children, they are hungry.
So join me at this time on CoreTV as we take you on a tour on Nigerian seat of power.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dullards that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that ballot.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will free give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans.
We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody. The majority of the law they pass belongs to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CoreTV.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News Broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
The holy month of Ramadan is here again with its bounty of blessings.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
CoreTV News is calling on well-meaning Nigerians to join us in sharing the blessings of the month with sponsorship of special programs during the month. Call to prayers at Iftar and...
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless.
This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
You cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism is concerned.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion.
Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I'm about fortune.
Now, you see, let me
say this.
So that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues. Welcome back on the program. Well, this morning we'll be talking Shiite versus police, the issues arising at this particular time. Yesterday we saw another clash with the Shiite and the police there in Abuja, and Nigerians are indeed wondering what exactly is happening concerning this particular clash coming from the Shiite members demanding the release of their leader, Ibrahim Al-Zakzaky. Well, I still have my guest in the studio this morning, Rex Kennedy Sotlo. He is the President, Executive Director of Citizens' Rights and Empowerment Advocacy Initiative, known as CREMA Initiative. Many thanks for staying tuned on the program this morning. What do you think is the major issue in all of this? Talking about the Shiite members demanding the release of their leader, Ibrahim Al-Zakzaky.
It is giving us concern. Number one, this thing happened last month, instead of April, and it's happening again. I don't know how regular this thing is going to be until it snowballs into something that we may not be able to handle. I think this was the way the issue of Joseph was started. Is it Joseph, the leader of Boko Haram, started? He was arrested and detained in police custody. And from there something happened. Al-Zakzaky is an old man. If anything happened to him, that this government is deliberately disobeying the judiciary in his release, and his followers are now protesting and attacking police officers first. It was the same way that Boko Haram started, and they were attacking police officers and police first before they became a terrorist group. Now the Al-Zakzaky issue is also following similar pattern, and for some of us who are watching from afar, it's something that will begin to give us concern. We are already dealing with two terrorist groups. Even if the federal government has not recognized Fulani herdsmen as terrorist group in this country, the United Nations declared them as the 4th most dangerous terrorist group in the world. And yet, we are having an issue now that is coming regular. Very soon it will become regular until maybe they become something else. Because their leader is dealing with something that's very fundamental in human life, and that is the spiritual and religious aspect of life. And these people are willing to be killed for their faith.
We can see what is happening there. Yeah. There's an attack on the police armor tank. Yeah. So where exactly are we going in all of this? If these people are demanding the release of their leader and they are going violent again, like what they did in 2015, December 12 and 14, precisely in 2015. We now have our legal practitioner, Samuel Adiola, join us on the program this morning. What do you make of this particular clash at this time?
It's an act of lawlessness, and I was surprised when my colleague here was saying something about a group being declared as a fourth. UN declare what group as a fourth?
Fulani herdsmen.
Okay, please let us be very careful the way we drop information. All right. UN has never declared Fulani herdsmen as the fourth dangerous. You are calling Fulani herdsmen. The people we know as Fulani herdsmen, they are the ones that pastoral the cows and all the rest. And I don't know where you get it from. That the UN said the Fulani men are, or you are talking about Boko Haram, because there's a difference between the two. The Fulani men have never been considered as terrorist group and has never been declared as such. So please let's know the kind of information we'll be passing around. Be that as it may, the issue of El Zaki and his faithfuls, I think I have to thank the police for their resilience and the kind of way they are handling their matter. Going by what we are seeing on the screen right now, if I had been the police of before, this is not what we will be talking about. Look at the way they did what they did to a vehicle belongs to the federal, to the Nigerian police, and yet we can still consider the fact that things are still normal from the side of the police, while the actions and inactions of these people are completely abnormal. I don't know how they are going to be checkmated, but they will be checkmated. That one I know.
Have you taken into consideration the flagrant disobedience of the judiciary that their leader should be released, which has not been done?
There is no flagrant disobedience of their leader being released. You don't hear one side and continue to carry it along as a deaf patient. There was.
Deaf person don't hear what?
Yes, doesn't hear what. He only direction he gives to him. Before you can tell him back, you have to run after him before you draw him back. And I think that is the way many people pick their information and they never look back. Yes, there was a court directive that the man should be released.
Yes.
But the federal government appealed it and the case is still at appeal court. You understand? So be that as it may. And it has been said over time that this man is not under arrest. He's in a house where, he's not kept in prison. He's in a house. And according to the security report, true or false, that he's being kept even for the sake of himself. All these things happen when, with their doggedry and their fanaticism, they went to go and block a whole general who happens to be the chief of army staff. Because I heard you the other time that the man is doing their religious and spiritual kind of thing. If that's how you practice your own religion, I am afraid that somebody should begin to consider the fact that everything about religion should be dropped. How can you say that the man there, they are fighting because the man that
their religious leader,
is their religious leader and is doing something that happened to do. So if you are fighting for your religious leader, that is how you fight for your religious leader to be released.
You don't fight. See, these people I told you, Boko Haram case came up just the way their leader were being mishandled, and you are not addressing that particular issue. That was the way Boko Haram came.
Okay, let me get your take. The soft love in all of this. Yeah. What's your argument concerning this clash the Shiites and the police?
I will not say it's normal. It's not legal. But these people are not just saying things that is legal now. They are trying to drive home a message. I don't advocate for violence. It cannot solve any problem. I won't advocate it. But they are saying that their leader should be relied because that is their spiritual guide. Is the person they see. It's like somebody who you arrest his father and he has a means of expressing himself. He would rather prefer dying, trying to fight and get his father out.
Okay. Even when they are defending the father in court, even when the issue, do you know the person that is in charge of the case of Zakisaki?
They have people that should talk to them.
SAN is the lawyer that is defending him.
Yes.
And yes, the case is in court. He has always going to court and appear before the court for him. So if they cannot, if there's nobody to educate them, if there is nobody to educate them, if they continue like this, they will be declared an enemy combatant. Because what they are doing right now is to give an eye to people to say, because if the police fail to act now, every other person will look at it and beginning to copy at the end of the day, and the matter can snowball to something that we never expect.
But just a moment, gentlemen, let's get the response from one of the Shiite members that we interviewed yesterday, because these people are not saying what you're saying concerning Sami Oladiola. They are talking about the deteriorating health of their leader,
the man
Ibrahim El-Zaki. Take a listen to this before we get your reaction on that.
The freedom of our leader, who has been kept under illegal detention for more than 2 years, despite court judgment court ordered the federal government to free him within 45 days. But today is 108 months. The government is keeping mute and is keeping him with life-threatening injury. One of his eye is already blind and the other one is at the verge. And the doctors has requested that the government should free him and fly him abroad for medical treatment because they don't have facilities here in Nigeria to handle his case.
Well, that's one of the Shiite members there.
How does he know?
Okay, tell us more.
He said they have kept him for the past 1 year and 8 months.
108 days, he said. The court said he should be released within 45 days.
No. He said they have kept him for
180 months.
Yes.
Well, it was.
So how does he know that
the clash happened in December 12 and 14?
So how does he know that the man is sick? He doesn't have a high that you have not seen for the past 2 years.
They are closer to him than you.
Okay. What are you arguing
obvious now? They are asleep that they get information.
What are you arguing now?
There's not about information. See,
what are you arguing? Where did they get that information from?
Where do you get your own that he's okay?
Did you hear what he said?
Where did you get your own that he's okay? Outside what they said.
Do you know what? Do you hear what he said?
Did you have information?
I don't know whether it's okay or it's not okay. The question I am telling you right now is this: if the guy said he has not been denied access to, he even said they have not been able to see him in the last 2 years. And it's now positive. You see, one thing I don't want is this: if you are saying these things and on air, you are creating an atmosphere in order to encourage brigandage and I know for one thing, it is the people like you. If the police has reacted in a way that they have attacked them, it is the people like you now that will be shouting that the government is killing other people. And now you are saying something now, you are encouraging brigandage attitude. The man is saying that somebody have no eye, somebody health is deteriorating. How does he know?
Then how do you know? See, you should be thinking of the people's life, people's feeling before you begin to think of order.
I think about people's life, I think about people's order.
No,
but I need facts to prove what I want to think. I am a lawyer. I don't work on isolation. I don't work on hearsay. In fact, in law, for as long as it is, hearsay is no go area. So you don't want me to take him for his words now.
Okay,
and begin to argue on the basis of what you have said. No. You have been sentimental by arguing about what you have said because you did not see the man. The man did not claim that I saw him yesterday.
The last time the man was on air, or was this? He was carrying POP in his leg. Did you see that? Did you watch it?
He was carrying
POP in his neck.
So Elizabeth don't carry POP in his neck.
I'm asking you a question. When did that start carrying POP? When did he start carrying POP?
Who carry POP?
Gentlemen.
Elizabeth don't carry POP.
When did he start carrying POP?
Can somebody carry POP? Does that make him sick?
Let's be very civil on the program.
Are you ready? Are you not ready? Why did you carry POP?
This morning, gentlemen, the question we need to be looking at in all of this, talking about the detention of Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, can there be any meeting point in all of this? If we are saying,
you see, we don't,
the group is demanding this release.
We don't overlook the genesis of a matter, and you are beginning to treat it from the head. No, there's a genesis to this matter. I don't think, and I repeat, I don't think that people in Kaduna, where El-Zakzaky and his men reigned supreme, when it lasted, will come up on her and they will not tell you they are heaving a sigh of relief. These are people for over time. I have been on ground for so long a time. I have visited those areas at one point in time. We saw what this group had done. At the height of it was what they did to the chief of army staff that led to the arrest of Tama.
Okay, now, will his release serve as a threat to national security?
Of course, if it does not before, and if their action does not, they will not get him arrested. If their action does not before, they will not get him arrested.
And then the judiciary also have the same equal rights with the government, doesn't see this thing that they are seeing either.
The funny thing about the judiciary is this: except now that he has been charged, and his wife will be charged with murder in accordance with the other charges they give to them. Don't look at the judiciary in isolation. The judiciary act on. That's why I said hearsay does not work in law. The judiciary will look at the charges and it will look at the law. If you charge somebody on a case that is bailable, forget the story.
Well, gentlemen,
regardless of their position, they will
the judiciary look at all these facts before they say he's bailable and the government appealed it. So you won't tell me the judiciary doesn't have the fact and facts were not presented.
Well, gentlemen, we have to.
The judiciary that has power, and I am telling you, the judiciary, yes, gave him bail, acted on the basis of the charges they give to him, which
we have to go on this break. When we come back, the show has just started. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Third arm of government. What happens here is what we give to you. The arraignments, arguments, rulings, adjournment of cases and judgments. The fight against corruption and issues bordering on human rights violations.
The doctrine of least spenders ought to have been respected, that no arm of government, however powerful, should take the laws into his hands as held by the Supreme Court.
Justice is one way. It's either you go for justice or justice go after you. But I've never seen a situation where an individual is afraid of justice.
We move from court to court to give you updates on legal matters, when they happen and where they are happening, going extra miles to get reactions from the parties, even when they're not in the mood to speak.
No comment. Talk to my lawyer.
Watch Legal Scope on CoreTV News at this time.
Hi, I am Anita Patrick, host of your program Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory from the Office of the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
I appeal to all of us citizens, leaders, politicians, and all to support this team to be able to restore the Abuja Master Plan.
To the streets that involves every boy, every girl, every man, every woman, and every youth on the streets, unfolding of happenings in the nation's capital territory.
Our challenge here is kidnapping, and the secret is there. It's a very short journey. You don't have to go as far as Abaji before you know what is happening in Kuji.
All of us, we don't know, in short, we don't know where to put head, because definitely our children, they are hungry.
So join me at this time on CoreTV as we take you on a tour on Nigerian seats of power.
On Digi 360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dullards that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that band.
Digi 360, providing clarity to issues.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans.
We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody. The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CoreTV.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Hello, welcome to CoreTV Headline News at 10. I'm Olajumoke Olatunji. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on the governments of African countries to cooperate in tackling corruption and ensure the proper utilization of the recovery of assets and the benefits of the people. He made this call during the 8th Commonwealth Regional Conference for Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Africa, held in Abuja. The theme of the 8th Commonwealth Conference of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Africa centers on partnering towards asset recovery and return. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says African governments need to fund anti-corruption agencies in order to combat corruption, foster asset recovery and return. Meantime, stakeholders urge participants, governments and anti-corruption agencies to corrupt leaders to justice, recover looted funds and create a safe future for Africa. The Senate leadership, in a swift reaction to a statement credited to a doubted North Senator Ovie Omo-Agege that he would appear in the Red Chamber on Tuesday in defiance of the 90-day suspension slammed on him, says the senator is free to resume his legislative duties pending the determination of an appeal filed against the court ruling nullifying his suspension. The position is contained in a press statement signed by Senate spokesperson, saying the decision is in obedience to court judgment. According to him, lawyers holding the brief of the Senate on the matter have advised that the senator be allowed to return pending determination of motion for stay of execution filed against the ruling at the Court of Appeal. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Jigawa State for a 2-day working visit. He arrived at Dutse International Airport on Monday, where he was received by the state's governor, Badaru Abubakar. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State, the Minister of Interior, Ministers of State for Aviation, as well as Budget and Planning, and a mammoth crowd. The president later proceeded to Adijia, where he commissioned road projects constructed by the state government. This is the president's first state visit since he returned to Abuja on the 11th of May from a 3-day medical trip to London, United Kingdom. And outside Nigeria now, fresh protests against Israel are expected in the Palestinian territories on Tuesday, a day after Israeli troops killed 48 people in the Gaza Strip. Monday was the deadliest day since a new wave of protests began at the Gaza border fence 7 weeks ago. Tuesday marks the 70th anniversary of what the Palestinians called the Nakba. And that's it on CoreTV Headline News at 10. Thank you very much for watching. I am Olajumoke Olatunji.
So what is 60 Minutes with Angela all about? It's not an interview. I like to think it's a conversation between two people making the news, people who are in the news, and those who become the news. And the whole idea is to inform, to educate, or to clarify, as the case may be. It is an art getting people to answer the questions that everyone is thinking in their minds. And that's what we try to do on 60 Minutes with Angela. I ask all the questions that everyone's thinking about and no one wants to voice. All the questions you always wanted to ask, you get those answers on 60 Minutes with Angela. Every week on this station, 60 Minutes with Angela, getting answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I don't buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will fee give you 500.
Sure, this one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans.
We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CoreTV.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News Broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV. Leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
The holy month of Ramadan is here again with its bounty of blessings.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
CoreTV News is calling on well-meaning Nigerians to join us in sharing the blessings of the month with sponsorship of special programs during the month. Call to prayers at Iftar and Sahur. Virtues of Ramadan.
God do not want you to eat an animal that has its own disease.
Al-Islam.
Total and unconditional submission is what is required from all believers.
You can also sponsor Ramadan Tafsir during the month. Ramadan Kareem.
CoreTV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is CoreTV.
Download CoreTV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless.
This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
You cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism is concerned.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion.
Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I'm about focus.
Now, you see, let me say this.
So that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues. Welcome back on the program. We're still on the Shiite police clash before we move on to the 2019 elections. Quickly, let me get the final take of my guest on this particular one before we move to other matters. At this time, I still have with me in the studio Rex Kennedy. He is Sotlov. He is a public affairs analyst and the President, Executive Director of Citizens' Rights and Empowerment Advocacy Initiative. Many thanks for staying tuned on the program. A legal practitioner, Samuel Adiola, many thanks for staying tuned. What do you think should be the solution in all of this to forestall further clash?
I think dialogue should be the solution. And I think another way of looking at this is that if possible, the government should allow Ezaki to speak for his people, for his followers. I think that may doubt.
He spoke sometimes.
Yes, that sometimes lasted till when they started.
That was when the rumor of whether he's dead or alive came up that time, and he came out to tell Nigerians that he's alive.
And now that they have said his one eye is blind and the neck, something has happened to body, let him speak again. Allow him to speak to them without the tension, and he can also tell them, I am okay, they should cool down, justice will be done, because the matter on ground is before the law court. So to me, that is the only thing. There is no anybody around these people will listen to, either second in command or third in command, and I doubt if that man has any. There's no other person within now. The man is the only one. I think it was that agitation at that point in time that made him to speak to them, and ever since he spoke with them, the whole things until around April that he started this thing. They know I witnessed it that April period around the Wuse 2 market, and going to a Millennium, what have you, and I saw the way they are surging forward, but police was magnanimous in handling them. I almost ran into them. I saw it. I came out from Wuse market and I saw it. I just believe that the government will not allow ego. They will allow the man to speak again to the people and let them realize that let them cool down, because the police cannot allow wanton destructions of properties and even wounding them to continue. They are trained to curb such incident, and if worse comes to worse, it will be referred to as act of self-defense, because you can see the way they destroyed even the vehicle over there. And if they did not stop them by allowing the man to speak to them, if they continue like this, I don't think Nigerian police has that psychological training of patience to continue to absorb something like this.
Okay, now your solution to all of this, and how will you describe the act of the police force yesterday in ensuring that they didn't overreact?
Well, I believe it was very commendable, because the people were already in a mob attack form, and if they are already in a mob attack form, anything that will aggravate that sentiment that they are carrying will definitely go up, and then they were already acting, and I'm very happy that the police acted in a proper way that is commendable with regard to their attack. And like he said, I believe dialogue should be there. If there's a second in command that is a third in command, or there's a group that can address them, or government has a means of relating and liaising with people who they believe the people can listen to, for this thing to be curtailed, we'll be very happy about it. Because we don't, my fear that I always speak about, we don't want another issue of Boko Haram emanating from this type of thing again, because that is the propensity that's where it's going to aggravate to. It starts with the leader first, then the followers became something else, and then there's nothing the government can do about it.
Okay, so you're also advocating for dialogue?
Strongly, and then the man should be given freedom. If he needs to be teleguided wherever he goes to, the government has the means, for goodness me. The government give you freedom, even they put you in house arrest. Let them follow you, let them monitor you. They have the people, they can put force men around them. You can put people like followers, even as members, and then monitor this man, follow this man, and bring.
Many will argue that Nnamdi Kanu was also given freedom, and he absconded with all the conditions.
They're not sure whether he's absconded or he's alive yet, so we can't say that one. Or whether when they did Operation Python, like he said, he want to work on fire. He can't tell us whether he was killed or he's alive. So we can't say that one.
I work on fire like I told you. Operation Python dance left the place today. Nnamdi Kanu called a press, which we saw on live television, to come and inspect what Operation Python, destroy and so on and so forth. So the man that Operation Python left the place today, and the man show up tomorrow to go and show the press, or they cannot be considered to have been killed by Operation Python. So that is a fact.
So you still sure that he's still alive?
So he's alive.
Okay.
Well, and away from this giant police clash now, let's talk about the 2019 elections, political parties' internal wranglings. At this time, let's start with the APC. We saw the local government and the ward congresses. How will you describe these activities we saw that one of last week, Saturday, and we're having agitations in different quarters, especially in Imo, where the governor is saying there is no Congress. And
was
some
outmasted.
It was
outmasted.
And some are saying
by people
Congress
that felt that, look,
was held in Imo,
the property of Okorocha.
Okay, so
let's take it from
it over from there.
Yes, or if you take it let's have Imo state by state. Imo state proved to Okorocha that Imo is not the property of Okorocha. You cannot leave the place and come. I don't think that has happened before in Imo land, in Igbo land. I don't know, but I can't remember that somebody will leave the place and go and bring your son-in-law to come and be their head. I don't think Igbo people are that. They are not daft. So that is what the lesson they taught him. We are not daft here. Don't worry. We are not going to fight you not to bring your this thing. So the Congress they come. So as Congress come, you might imagine that the whole governor was outsmarted to the point that the people that want to conduct Congress even lock him out. I saw it on the television. As to what happens to him. He's now commanding the police to go and find those people that ran away with the election result. You see, to me, it is an act of impunity for you to think that you have now become God of the people just because you are given opportunity to serve. And that is exactly what is happening in almost all the areas where you find Bikari. Same thing go to your state. Ajimobi want to control. And there are other groups too that believe, look, you cannot pocket the people which are supposed to have free will. If you are not ready for direct and free and fair Congress, then we too will outsmart you. So they outsmarted him as well over there. The other group had to send their list to the national order view. That is what we will find even in Adamawa state. The same thing happened. Where again did they have a parallel order view? Those are the big cannon that you are seeing. But I believe one thing, that it is still something you know about the politician. They never ever have permanent enemy. It's only permanent interest that they have. And they will settle themselves. I am very sure of that.
Okay.
The area where they cannot settle themselves, the one with over ambition, like Okorocha that want to use. If you want to test his popularity, political party is not the place to test your popularity. It is you yourself. To test your popularity, bring your son-in-law into another. There are so many parties in Imo State now. Bring your son to another party and test that, okay, I have worked for these people. We have been saying it on this air, that there was a man in Mushin called Kakuare. When they denied him ticket in APC, he said, is it not me? Is it not my Mushin? Don't worry, I will go to even ordinary newspaper party and I will beat the Asiwaju of the politics in Lagos. And he went to Accord party and he beat, not only beat, he flagged them in that place. So that's why I call popularity. So not that you will be galvanizing around because you have the state power along you. If you are popular, nobody is denying you. If you know that the party you are, you can no longer contain you and you know you are popular, carry yourself, go another place and go and contest yourself. That's the way I see it.
Okay. Sotlov, what do you make of all of this?
You see, Imo is a case in view, and there are other cases like Oyo State. And then if you look at across the nation, I don't think there was virtually no state in which there was no problem. concerning APC, and that goes you to say that there are more ingrained challenges or problems within the party that has not been properly sorted out. You begin to look at people who came over just a year before they came into power, and every person was just riding off. And it's like every block begin to find, CPC will begin to find their block, ACN will begin to find their block, AN people will begin to find their block, and then you see all this bickering coming into because they have not gelled together as a political party strongly. Their goal at that particular time was to remove the government. Now that one has been removed now. It is now they're supposed to consolidate themselves in power, and they begin to find that these clashes will begin to come up, and then to become a problem, and it's for them to sort out for themselves. And that is giving the PDP and the NPDP now room to begin to try and, when you talk, I said it was the NPDP that was in power when we were speaking offline, behind camera. So it's the NPDP that were in power. Dogara, Saraki, all of them are the people that came out from NPDP, and they seem to be the real power brokers within these particular parties, and they came out from PDP. So if there's a breach within APC right now, every person will begin to try, like, it's like when you put a potato on top of a cat, you are putting the lesser one will go down, the upper one will begin to come up. Those people who have more influence and have more say can offer more things, be the people that will come out in the less. All those ones that are doing under, it's like, then they will sort themselves out. That's what I want to say.
Do you have any political party that is not having any internal wranglings?
No, I don't think there's scarcely no party that doesn't have any internal
wranglings. Because there's no ideology. It's not ideology that brought them.
Yes.
It's about the cake
they want to go for. Yeah. So, like I told you, like we said offline, behind camera, the reason why these wranglings are coming inside is because of personal interest. It's not people interest. Every person is fighting for himself. They are not fighting for the people. If they were having ideologies that are going to be for the welfare and development of the people, they are able to sell it to the people and be able to relate to the people, it will be good. There was a time one party invited me, asked me to work for them. Right now I have about 2 parties that are approaching me, asked me to work for them and work with them with regard to something. I told them, I said, where have you been for almost about 3 years? Where have you been for almost about 4 years? Is it that minute you want people to be mobilized and put together? I can mobilize 100,000 of people of you. I can do some things for you in this particular place. But what will be the thing that they will hold on to after the meeting? When you've gathered them together, is it for people to just see there's a crowd? And people see that, oh, this is a crowd. Let us just say we have crowd. So that you use that now to begin to become your bargaining point. I don't like to work like that. You must be able to have something you have to offer to the people. And so that when you live there, if the people go home and they are going for voting, they don't say these people are not deceiving us. It's not a day to election, 2 days to election, you are gathering rallies and coming to talk to people. You don't talk about people, say they have the conscience to go and reason when they get back home. So there are no ideologies, and all these things will keep on happening in most of the country.
Do we still have that enlightened electorate at this time?
So yeah, Nigerians are good though. The average Nigerian are good. People can take your money and go and vote their conscience. If they are informed and you have time to discuss with them. People can take your money. You are not going to be there when I'm going to cast my vote. I'm not going to sell my birthright. I can take your money and I'll go and vote for the person that's in my conscience. You're not going to monitor me. If the place is clear as it ought to clear and it's going to be private as it's going to be private, I can take the money I want for you. I was very young when I joined politics, so I was invited when UPN and NPN were there.
Are you speaking for yourself or for
generality of the average Nigerians?
Average Nigerian.
I'm a Nigerian and I consider myself an average Nigerian. I go with the people, so I know their opinion. We deal with people, we relate with people.
Okay, let's go back to the internal wranglings in these parties now. Well, the NPDP in APC now, there seems to be another crack in them. Samuel, what do you make of this?
By virtue of what, like I said, I don't work on hearsay. By virtue of what I know that I can lay my hands on, I don't think the real NPDP are really the one bickering. The one that are bickering are the ones that believe that they have entitlement mentality, and that means that entitlement mentality does not bring anything to the table.
How do you come about that?
Yesterday, I watched Jubril Abdulmimini on Politics Today, and when he was discussing, that was when my own understanding comes to be, to the fact that when the Bakari whatever
the Barajé
group was doing their own what do you call the press conference, I discovered that the whole of the press conference, the only known face among the NPDP is Barajé himself. Among that press conference, you look around, you could not find any other person. I was like, okay, is it Barajé the only NPDP that is talking, or the NPDP that the other NPDP that is talking, they just pushing forward, they are going and talk for us? Because when you look at the NPDP, you said something the other time that by virtue of what you can see, it is the NPP that is even NPDP that even has that power.
Power broker between them.
You understand?
Yeah.
But if you look at the presidents of the Senate, it's the NPDP.
Yeah.
If you look at the president of, speakers of the House of Assembly, House of Rep, it's the NPDP. And every other places that you can, ministers and all the rest. So when you look at the letter they even wrote, that is where it becomes mimicking to wonder that, okay, where is this person? When you're talking about marginalization in appointment, and I was like, okay, do you really want the whole place to be given into your hand before you know? That's where I come about. Those people that I see, they are the people with entitlement mentality, and they cannot get what they have desire, or they have been shortchanged. And I wonder why Barajé has to be making noise, because Barajé is more or less like a political honey and friend, if not son, of Olusola Saraki, who happened to be the father of the NPDP, who is the president of the Senate. So if he's talking about being sidelined, I wonder where that sideline or where marginalization or positioning not given to them is coming out from. When you have the Senate president as your head, as the head of NPDP, and you are still talking about marginalization, I don't know.
Who says the Senate president is articulated?
Well, we can't start insinuating that.
We are not insinuating. I only ask. You know, all my pontification are all hypotheses. That what is the essence of you, who happens to be a right-hand ally of the NPDP president of the Senate, and you are now talking about marginalization again? Because part of the letter, what I read in their letter was that they are being marginalized. They are not into the position of things within the politics and the government of the day. That they have not in sharing of a board of director, MDA, that they are not. I was like, okay, who are they again that you are not talking about? But the fact remains that in that press conference is only Zakari Barajé that you can see.
Now, if we look at this particular list, talking about the ex-NPDP chieftains, we have Bukola Saraki, the Senate President, Yakubu Dogara, House of Rep Speaker, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Chairman Senate Committee on Agriculture, Senator Adamu Ailero, Chairman Senate Committee on Customs. We have Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, Chairman Senate Committee on National Planning, Senator Danjuma Goje, Chairman Senate Committee on Appropriation. And
that's what I'm saying. I said that is where I find out that perhaps Barajé is looking at himself that, look, my entitlement mentality was not given to me. It's like I am sidelined. And I wonder why he would consider himself sidelined when Senate President is your ally. Senate President, who happen to be the NPDP crossover with you, is your party. You are from the same state. In fact, you have been working along with him even before he becomes somebody. So I wonder where that is. Because when Barajé was named the PDP chairman at that point in time, Albert temporarily, it was through Bukola Saraki. You understand? So it's like Bolaji Abdullahi, who happened to be the publicity secretary of he's a one-time ally of the Senate president, and he's also an NPDP. So it beats me hello to see that somebody will now write of marginalization. I did not even go. I'm not even talking about the Senate committee here now. I'm even talking about the appointment into the boards and, like he said, ministers and all the rest. So where is the marginalization coming from?
Okay, now gentlemen, you continue with your line of thought. Now let's open the phone lines to get the pulse of Nigerians on what we're looking at on the program this morning. We started with the Shite Police Aflash yesterday. We raised many issues and provide solutions to some of those. And also this morning, we are still talking about the 2019 elections, as we have in political parties, internal wranglings at this time. Do not attack any personality. You don't have that right to cast aspersion on anyone. That's our editorial policy on Call Digest this morning. And also reduce the audio of your TV set so that we can have that smooth communication on the program. Thank you very much for staying tuned with our editorial policy. Gentlemen, yesterday we saw the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit against the aborted attempts by all Progressives Congress to extend the tenure of its national chairman, John Odigi Oyego, and other elected officials of the party. Before we start receiving calls, let's take a listen to this particular clip, then we'll talk more about issues in the country. Hello, we will bring you details of that particular one, but still back on.
Hypothetical questions or academic questions are not answered by the court, but the obiter dicta in the judgment, they are to guide for future conduct, which is okay because before now, we have never had a direct pronouncement by any court of law in Nigeria as he has done today, which is okay for all the players in the political field to guide, and then in future, anybody that wants to extend tenure will be referred to what he has said in the judgment.
There is no need deciding the substantial issue on the merits. But as for whether or not there was an attempt to elongate the tenure of APC executive members from the national to the world executive, the court said yes. From evidence before me, I am satisfied that there was an attempt to illegally extend the tenure of the National Executive Committee, state, world, and local governments, and that it might be as a result of this pending suit before me or other supervening circumstances that may have prompted the APC to now decided to abide by the rule of law.
Legal practitioners, they are reacting concerning Oyegun's suits being dismissed. Gentlemen, talking about this issue of tenure allegation, back and forth arguments.
Ordinarily, their suit should have been a mere academic exercise. In law, that's what we call it. Once event has overtaken the purpose of the suit, should have been a mere academic exercise. Why? Because the issue in discourse is already being resolved, and he has gone to the normal process that he ought to go to. So to me, I believe it is a mere academic exercise.
Okay. How about you, Sotlov?
Well, I don't have anything to say much about that either, but what I just say is that I'm just looking at I'm from Edo State.
So you're having this party affiliation or what?
No, I don't have party affiliation. I'm not a member of APC or PDP or whatever. But my concern is there's already a crack already because Oshomole is also coming. If Oshomole is contesting for the position of Oyego,
just a moment. Let's quickly join Usman from Kano. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Hello, Usman, are you there?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
You're welcome. I want to quickly put into consideration concerning the issue your team spoke about a while ago, about the post being handled by the new PDP members. I think you didn't get the complaint of Baragi, right? What he said is that even the Bukola Saraki and the Speaker of the House of Assembly that are in that position were being put there by the original PDP member and few of them, and that even the APC as of up to today did not support them and troubling them even at the position they are holding. So in that regard, I don't think the Baragi letter was wrong. He was saying what is happening. Up to today, Bukola is being challenged in the court on so many allegations. What is it? Bara have to play to their role before they really go accommodating. See, now Kokosu is to be allowed to enter Kano. What are we talking about? We should just be telling Nigeria has seen the fact, and we should not be hiding things for people to see. And then I go back to the issue of Azedeki. This my job man, you should not be supporting the government at all the time if they are wrong. We should make them to know that they are wrong. What Azedeki was doing, I am here in Kano, they have members here. They were not harassing anybody. This is how Yusuf Ali issue started. They were protesting on what they know that is right, what they know, what they believe on, and they were being attacked. It's the life of the people farming staff. The higher or more than over 300 people that were murdered on that very day, people that bear no harm. What are we talking about? Please, we should be sincere whenever we are on air.
Thank you very much. Usman from Kano, thank you very much. You've made your point there. You quickly want to react to that.
I don't have anything to react. He lives in Kano, he doesn't live in Kaduna. So they might have a member in Kano. If the member they have in Kano is less than the population of other Muslims there, they may not be a threat to them. But go to Kaduna and see where Ezaki have been living. It's not even something I need to talk about. You are a journalist, you must be able to relate with the news of that
what
time.
He was attacking me about is the same sentiment. If you call it sentiment that people are viewing,
that is not my view. It is something that I've read, that I've seen happen in Kaduna very well. It is not a view now. It is the fact on ground. That is not view.
My angle on
that's not opinion. What I'm saying now is not opinion.
My angle on this issue was that
just a moment.
This was how Yusuf Mala came up.
We'll continue with that line of thought. Let's quickly join
it's
Prince.
not opinion.
Prince is calling us from Jos. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Prince.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Go on with a comment, please.
Good morning to the guests.
Thank you.
Concerning the issue that Baraje raised about being sidelined by the government in the center, I think what he meant is that the position that Saraki and the rest they fought for that. What he's saying is that their inputs are not being considered in the affairs of the APC. The APC are just there. They are just there to sideline them. So what they are saying, they want to be in the mainstream of things in the APC. The other gentleman, he's always holding brief for the government. When the government is wrong, he should be man enough to say the government is wrong. I mean, the one with the lawyer himself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince. Well, let me let you know he has his own opinion. He's right to his own expression, and that's what the law says. It's his own. That's his own stand. Let's take it like that. Well, gentlemen, you were trying to make some analysis earlier.
Yeah, I was like saying, you see, fairness is fairness everywhere. If two people are here and you say divide something equally and they divide it equally and give to them, when they see it themselves, they don't need to complain. They won't complain. The issue on the ground is that something was not handled fairly and people are reacting to what you don't. Like what I was saying, the Yusuf case was like this. You don't side when a government begin to oppress people and then you tell them they are defenseless. The best way they can sacrifice their life. If you like, carry bullets. I'd rather die standing, fighting for my right, than die a coward. After all, I'm a Christian. I have faith in Christ, died and goes to heaven, so I'm going to go to heaven, period, all those particular things, so I don't fear anything. So I will defend for my faith. But like he said from that angle, 300 defenseless people were killed because somebody was coming in. You have not addressed it. You are talking in when government set up committee, they'll say, look at the remote and immediate causes for this action for us to find solution to a particular problem. When these people sit down, know that their colleague they eat with every day, they pray with, or they have time to do with every day, they come inside. Okay. And then they begin to...
Just a moment. Let's quickly join. Peter is calling us from Bauchi. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to your guest.
Good morning, Peter. Go on with the comment, please.
Thank you very much. I'm going to talk about the ramblings and parties and all that. I've always been saying that a lot of things are going to unfold. And, one of your guests talked about that, and when he was talking about Imo State, that Okorocha never really expected what came for him. It's just funny that at times politics has become a situation whereby people take it as if it's their home affairs and their personal affairs, not their affairs of service to humanity and people that put you in that place. And it's not only even in Imo State. Look at what happened in Anambra State. and so many of the APCs. It's really, really, really showing a whole lot of things that I keep saying it that before 2019, a lot of things are going to come out that are going to baffle a lot of people, and it's already happening. So we should just keep our fingers crossed. A lot of things are coming on the way. Our fingers are crossed, and it's so unfortunate anyway. I wish them the best of their party affairs and all that. But all the same, when some things go wrong, they tend to turn around. Maybe I see it that way, turning around and all that. And the politics of 2019, we pray and hope that definitely, with God being on our side, 2019 is going to be a successful election year, peacefully, and God is going to take control over it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter from Bauchi. Now, back to the internal wranglings in political parties. With this NPDP, are we likely going to see a major shake-up in the APC?
If there are members of NPDP that has come out to say that, like you just rightly read out now, they are members of NPDP and they are the cogent and strong members of NPDP, and they are holding such position and they are not complaining about such marginalization. I still repeat it, whatever it may be, Baraje is the one that knows the reason why he is doing that which he is doing. You cannot tell me that because somebody is somebody as a Senate president is no longer in the thing of what is going on, so you still want them to bring you into the mainstream. Or what again is the mainstream if you have a Senate president and you have a House of Rep speaker and you are still you are not being brought into the mainstream? What mainstream again?
He made a statement and said that those people, I think those like the first speaker Osman said it. He said those people in those places were placed by PDP, not APC, because APC were against their position. So it's like they themselves
the question is were they there? Are they still there? Are they still the Senate president and speaker of the house today? So whose interest are they still representing? That's the question now. Are they still cutting the short stuff till today? Are they not still the one determining our budget 6 months thereafter they have not passed it?
Just a moment. Bob is calling us from Jos. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Hello, Bob. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. How are you?
Well, we are fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, concerning the issue of this is exactly I'll choose caution on this issue because the election in 2019 is fast approaching. The opposition, the members of this leader of High Society or what they call the name, they may hijack them and use them against the government. So what am I trying to say? People at such a time that the worst government we have ever seen. You understand me? I think when he said Abiola, that Southwest was even shaking that time. In Nassau Rock, in one of the guest house. I think the best thing this man can do, if Buhari believes that I think Buhari knows him better than any other person because he's a Muslim, is that he should probably give this man accommodation in any of the guest house in Nassau Rock. So it will guide the attention of all these young boys up north. You understand?
Okay.
People find them. Even in this job, they do their protest. Every state in the north. So this the young man of this lawyer, please, if you are in the north, you understand me. That of Abuja is even small. You understand me? So please, government should be very, very careful with them because the election is fast approaching.
Okay.
The politician
is... Thank you very much, Bob from Jos. Well, Bob is coming from the angle that, well, these people might be used by the opposition party.
I believe the government is not stupid.
Okay.
They have their intelligent what have you. I mean, unfortunately, I want to go back or digress. I told you the other time that since 26 that they have arrested the man that was supposedly the former leaders of Boko Haram. Have you heard about any killings in Benue ever since then? No.
Who is the former killer of Boko Haram? You know, this
former leader of Boko Haram that was later become the militia man of Otto. since he was arrested on 26th of April up to today. Have you had any killing again in Benue?
We have not.
So I am clearly saying, Oga, what I'm trying to say is this: you have been on this seat, it was out more than 1 or 2 times talking about killing in the Benue State, and I keep on saying that the killing in Benue State will go the way of Nnamdi Kanu's of this world and the bombing in the world of the Niger Delta. Today,
Emmanuel, we have someone from Benue now. Emmanuel is calling us from Benue.
He will tell us whether there is a
Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to your guests over there.
Good morning, Emmanuel. How is Benue today?
Well, by the grace of God, we are expressing a relative calm within the Makurdi Metro Police and in the sub-urban region. The killings since the 2 priests were murdered in the church, since then we have not heard this incident killing for now. We pray that the peace continue in that manner.
Okay. So what's your take on what we're looking at this morning?
Thank you very much. My take on the police clash and this issue. I support the submission of the lawyer there in the studio. You know, in this Nigeria, we have various levels of court, and they have their jurisdiction. The earlier court has given this ruling that it should be released. The government said no, we appeal the ruling. The case is still in court, in the higher court. Let us await what the higher court have to say. Rather than going to destroy government property, attacking people who have arms, before you know that they say police started killing innocent people, and they are the one provoking the police. You know, so my take on this is that let the followers of this man exercise patience, and whosoever they may talk to them so that they exercise patience and await the outcome. Maybe the government is applying the doctrine of necessity so that this man will not come out and cause more harm than.
Okay, Emmanuel.
That is my take on it.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. You've made your point. Okay, Emmanuel from Benue.
And the last attack is on April 24.
Okay,
and the man was arrested on April 26. Until date, that never been
So, back to the politics of 2019. Well, looking at political parties, the PDP too. Well, we are here to hear anything so concrete from.
It's quite funny.
The
you know,
PDP.
The funny side of it is that we're about 9 months away, or I think up to 9 months to election, and we don't have presidential candidates apart from only one person that showed interest. We don't have evolving presidential candidates.
Let me take you back to the memory lane of 2014. Well, in 2014, we started hearing the say Baba here and there. The president, Muhammadu Buhari, at that time, it was so glaring that, well, this person is a potential presidential candidate.
Yes, he threw himself in. No, everybody thought, because as at 2011, after the last.
Okay, James is calling us from Benue. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Hello, James. James, are you there?
Hello.
Okay.
Emmanuel, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Why Abdari always antagonizing his people? I don't know why he's always making noise. That's the way he makes noise in the focus.
No one is making noise here, James. Point of order.
Turning to your television station to another thing altogether is very bad.
What's your own? Hello, James. Hello, James. What's your own take on what we're looking at? I keep saying on this program, you don't. Hello, can you listen to me, James?
I think they are still killing people in Kogi State. They are still killing people. They are everywhere. They are still terrorizing.
Okay, thank you very much, James. But I keep saying, when you pick up guests on this program and you talk about them, you are even making them more popular. So leave the guests alone and give your own comments on issues raised on the program. Well, he's talking about killings in Kogi. Well, still killing there. But back to the issue of 2019 election.
There are no killing in Lagos State last week. Did you people talk about it?
Back to the 2019.
The police and the Lagos State governor's task force team went to Makoko and killed and maimed. Did you people talk about it?
Back to the issue of the 2019 election.
The 2019 election is going to be very funny. You know, in politics, 24 hours is very long. 24 hours is very long. And the people who are forming an alliance, the Nigeria National Intervention Movement, named started by OBJ and is backing of ADC, African Democratic Congress.
But if you remember that the president, the former president there, OBJ, did say that if he's going to transform to a political party, he's going to back out.
He's backing the African Democratic Congress.
Okay.
He's backing. He's not transforming. The National Intervention Movement, which he started, is there. Then there's PDP. That then, based on what I was reading the other time.
But I expect him to be out because he's saying this is going to form, generate into a political party. He shouldn't be a part of it.
A coalition of New Nigeria, a coalition of about 35 political parties. These people have grassroots and they are spread in various areas. You can't predict what they are coming. But every person is going to run their place and maybe feed one candidate in the long run. We don't know how they are going to play their game. But with what we have on the ground, see, depending on how you play this game, politics in 2019 is going to be very, very interesting. And for me, personally, my personal opinion, I won't support a government that doesn't take the sacrosanct of life above development. Every government that has been economically strong today, value the sanctity of life above economic development and whatever thing you are fighting. We are fighting corruption, and then you don't value the sacredness and the sanctity of life. I mean to say the sanctity of life concerning human being. It gives any normal human being a reason to think twice concerning entrusting you. It could be my cousin, it could be my sister, it could be my brother, it could be you I've discussed with right now. The moment I see this one, I will be antagonizing each other from different political perspective, but there's already a bond of connection. It became a friend tomorrow. I won't see him like an enemy in me. And then if you don't consider his life, I don't consider his life, and you tell me that you are going to give economic development, I may be the next victim.
Do you see this administration being comfortable with the killings going on in the country?
Sir?
Will any reasonable administration be comfortable with that?
Let's come to this one now.
You just have less than 1 minute.
How many people did IPOB kill before it was portrayed as a terrorist group? It's a simple question. How many people did IPOB kill before they were proscribed and declared a terrorist group, compared to the Fulani herdsmen or armed bandits that is going on in the country that a lot of people have been coming out and speaking against, and this government has been
we've had arguments using the word Fulani attached to this herdsmen in all of this, that the so-called Fulani people are some people who are very friendly. Why not use the word herdsmen and using the word Fulani herdsmen? Because that's not the subject.
That's not the subject
for today.
People who get across, and you know, when major people, the Igbo people are known as motor parts, spare parts dealers. That is their major trade. If you go to any place, they are the major people you find out that are involved into this motor parts, whatever spare part. So when you begin to see any person that, you begin to associate him with.
Okay, with all the internal wranglings in political parties, if President Muhammadu Buhari eventually becomes the candidate for the APC, do we have any formidable party that can match the candidate of President Muhammadu Buhari? Just 1 minute. Soklov.
Do we have any formidability? See, the formidability of any person is not a product of his personality per se. It's a product of the people behind him. That's what I would say on my own.
Okay. Samuel.
35 political parties coming together to form an alliance. Those things don't move me a bit. How many of them has people in the House of Assembly, has National Assembly, ordinary councillor in every state?
At the moment, we have about 69 political parties in the country registered.
They now said 35 want to come together, and that one will be threatening me. Or who? How many of those 35, apart from APC, PDP, ABGA, how many of them? Ordinary councillorship they don't have in other states. So what are we talking about? Even in their own house, their wife does not even support them. For crying out loud, I don't get myself fret on that. Coming to talk about where is the formidable man that would stand against Buhari, I think for now I don't see. In fact, the political party that have not been able to come out with their men today is because they are still searching for that man that will meet his pedigree.
Okay, that means the
personal.
searching continues.
Yes, it continues.
Do you share in that plight?
Yes,
I do believe that searching is not that searching.
It's a good ultimate search.
People are going to present themselves. They are going to take one of the best people. They are going to polish these people up and market them. Say Baba started just a year before he was.
Even the young ones who are also joining the political race now. Yes. You're not seeing them.
Even see, let's say for instance,
I saw them. My friend and client is also there. Chowore is there.
Gentlemen,
I don't see him
we have to call the shots this morning.
And win. He cannot even win on those states.
Don't say that.
I must say.
If you stand with that guy will surprise people. He's my friend.
Are you talking about the God delivering codeine?
That would be too much on Nigerian youth. That would be too much on Nigerian
youth. God delivering codeine.
Well, that's how much we can take on the program this morning. Samuel Adiola, legal practitioner, man, thanks for coming on the program this morning. Rex Kennedy Sotlow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Public Affairs Analyst, President, Executive Director of Citizens' Rights and Empowerment Advocacy Initiative. Quite a long title there. Man, thanks for joining us on the program. And that's how much we can take on Core Digest this morning. Well, concerning the 2019 election, Samuel Adiola raised the fact that the searching continues for that formidable candidate for political parties in Nigeria. Till I come your way again, I remain Emmanuel Ajayi. I say go out there and do something great for this great country, Nigeria. Bye for now.
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis.
Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
You cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion.
Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I'm about focus.
Now, you see, let me
say this. So that our soldiers will be free, we should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues.
The judiciary, third arm of government. What happens here is what we give to you. The arraignments, arguments, rulings, adjournments of cases and judgments. The fight against corruption and issues bordering on human rights violations.
The doctrine of least spenders ought to have been respected, that no arm of government, however powerful, should take the laws into his hands as held by the Supreme Court.
Justice is one way. It's either you go for justice or justice go after you. But I've never seen a situation where an individual is afraid of justice.
We move from court to court to give you updates on legal matters, when they happen and where they are happening, going extra miles to get reactions from the parties, even when they're not in the mood to speak.
No comment. Talk to my lawyer.
Watch Legal Scope on CoreTV News at this time.
Hi, I am Anita Patrick, host of your program Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory from the Office of the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
I appeal to all of us citizens, leaders, politicians, and all to support this team.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans. We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
It's another episode of your darling program, The People. I'm your host, Emmanuel Ajayi, where we go out on the street
to sample the opinions of Nigerians on topical matters. This time around, we'll be talking concerning the security situation in the country at the moment and what solutions are Nigerians giving at this time. Well, let's go more on the streets to feel the pulse of Nigerians on this matter. See you more on the streets.
Well, there seems to be general insecurity around, but I think those concerned can still do something about it. The president is not the only one in the country. Other people who are supposed to take charge of security should also sit up and do what they're supposed to do. I don't think the president is a fault here. He has other people that have been saddled with the responsibility. So they should do their job and let's secure the country. He has given direction, I'm sure, about to the various people. They should also be proactive enough to do their own job. I think that will solve the problem.
I'm the president. We definitely have to go to that state and then summon the governor of the state and then know what is going around there, because what is going on there is this is political issue. It's political issue, and there is governor that is leading that the same Taraba and or other states. You understand? But they're supposed to summon those people before they summon the president.
All I think I can say about it is for the government to respond quickly to exactly what's going on and not to shy away from it. And they should not feel that or think that people does not know what's going on. People would know exactly what's going on. And right now, social media is actually flooded with that issue. And the best I can advise them is to respond as soon as possible. Because there's a lot of outcry now, and nobody knows where it's going to lead to. But let me not really say what's going to happen about it. So that's the advice I have for the government. Thank you.
What's happening in the country now is beyond doubt. The killing the country, government should do something about it. Particularly this Fulani S-men. It has now taken over the whole Benue state. Just of recent, they killed people at the native town of the governor of the state. So government have to do something before the whole thing go around the whole country. So that's what I want to say.
Nobody can be comfortable with it.
So what's the solution?
Well, the solution lies, I believe that the solution mainly is God, but obviously as a man we have many things to do about it. As a government and people who are in the position of power, I believe there are policies to checkmate all of those things, you understand? So I think I will just need to step up to make sure we apply the right policy to it. That's just it. If we can follow the policy that is already in the book, I believe that will go a long way.
I think it's motivated by some underground influence. I think some people are involved. Maybe, I don't know, some people because it's sequential, you understand, and it's continuous. So it means it's premeditated. It means some people are involved and they have an agenda and they are trying to perpetuate that agenda in our country. That's what I think. So
how should this be nipping ball?
I think it should be investigated. You understand? Because it's sequential, it means that some people are behind, like I said, so they should find out who those people are, what they want, and they should address them or bring them to book, whichever way it requires. You understand what I'm saying?
So the government should become more involved with everything that's happening. I feel like they're not involved at all. I feel like their mind is somewhere else. They're doing what they want to do, and they're just nowhere. Priorities are displaced. So I feel like they should just become more involved and increase security and yeah.
Of course I'm not happy about the situation of the country. It's so saddening. I'm not just happy, and I pray God will intervene as soon as possible.
So what's your advice to the government?
That they should try all they could to make peace reign, and they should have a right mind to government as a ruling people. If you have people that have right mind, then things is going to be all right in the country.
It's like the situation in this country is getting out of hand. There are a lot of reported cases of killings here and there, just as you have mentioned. But one thing I believe is that if the government can really see
to it and make sure, because these people are agitating for a particular thing. And that is what I don't know. But if the government can make a serious effort to really know why all these things are really happening and take a proactive measure to make sure that all their needs are met, and to also see that the killings get reduced to the barest minimum, because it's getting out of hand. Like the Boko Haram and all that, up till now, many majority of us doesn't really know why they are really doing the killings, because it's senseless. It's senseless to me. So I think the whole something lies on the government, because we have little power. We cannot go and face them. It's only the government that can really do it. If they really want to do it, I believe they can do it.
Okay, based on the killings going on in Benue and Taraba, actually I think what the step the Senate actually want to take is actually okay, because it's just getting much day by day, year by year, and people are dying. Those people, it's blood flowing in their blood, as in their body. They are like human beings like us, and we can't just be looking at this one to be going, all this killing to be going on. So it's good that the Senate and any other body ready to ensure that this thing stops, so that we have peace in our country.
Happy when things is not normal. So I'm not happy.
So what's your advice to the government?
For them to do their work and make things work the way we want it.
I don't know anything about that.
Are you happy that people are dying in other states?
I'm not happy about that, but I don't know what to say about that. I will just all what I can say is our governor to find something to do about it. So that's all.
Lives are being shared, like I see were animals, were goats, so it's not funny at all. We just need quick response towards it.
The Senate has summoned the president. What do you make of it?
What do I do? What?
Make of the Senate inviting the president to give analysis on what has happened.
Mine is just let them just find a way to fix it. Like let the president just do something, because it keeps happening and then there's no solution to it. Like it's always happening. It's everywhere. Even when I was traveling the last time, they attacked us on the way, the Fulani herdsmen, but it's just God. So if the government can't do anything to it, I don't think our lives and properties are safe here in Nigeria.
The people, the people, the people, giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back on your darling program, The People. Nigerians are talking concerning the security situation in Nigeria at the moment, and it is expected that things will get better. Security agencies will work together in ensuring to nip in bud the insecurity challenges Nigeria is facing at the moment. Till I come your way again with another bumper package of your darling program, The People. I remain your indefatigable advocate for the people, Emmanuel Ajayi. God bless you and God bless Nigeria. Bye for now.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I don't buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will give you 500.
Sure? This one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans.
We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The People, giving voice to the voiceless.
Hello and welcome to another bumper-packed edition of your program, Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in the Federal Capital Territory. On this week's episode of your program, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has mapped plans to start the implementation of National Homegrown Feeding School program in the city with a target of 300 to 1,000 children in Kwali, Buari and Goglada Area Council. Welcome, I am Anita Patrick. See you shortly. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has mapped out plans to start the implementation of National Homegrown Feeding School program in the city with a target of 300 to 1,000 children in Kwali, Buari and Goglada Area Council. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Bello, explained that the administration is to start the program first in rural communities across the 3 area councils where there are a large number of residents. Bello, speaking at a 2-day stakeholders workshop with the team developing sustainable school feeding programs aimed at brainstorming on the operation models of the program in the FCT to pave way for efficient implementation of the program. The minister, who was represented at the occasion by the Secretary for Social Development Secretariat, Oladimeji Ali Hassan, assured that the FCT administration is highly committed to the implementation of the program.
I was starting immediately because we are already behind schedule. Starting immediately with the 3 area councils in the suburb, Kwali, Buari and the Goglada area councils. Because that's where we feel the program is needed most, because that's where we have the poorest of the poor. We have done our survey and we think it's better to take it to where this program is highly needed. Children of people like you who live in the urban centers, they don't really need much of this. The people in the rural communities, they need it most. So that's why we're taking it there first. So we're starting as soon as possible. Very soon, in the next few weeks, we are going to start.
What's your target like? Target
population? At least we can start like 300,000 children. It will be a good start. So that's the minimum we want to start with. It could get to 500. We'll get even more. So that's where we're starting from. Yeah.
Special advisor to the President on Social Investment Program says the program focuses on feeding children of primary 1 to 3 in selected schools, as she gave more insight to the delay in the process of implementing the program in the FCT, which includes non-availability of recommended database for the program in the territory.
This program will therefore give leverage to local farmers using agricultural crops grown within the FCT, while at the same time, employment opportunities will be created for our food vendors who are resident within the location where the schools are based. The FCT, especially the stakeholders in education, health, agriculture, and others, are highly delighted and happy to kickstart this major program. The stakeholders workshop will be a brainstorming session with the objective of providing proper insights into the models of operations of the feeding program. We have come along today with the following: data on school enrollment in the FCT, primary 1 to 6, the peculiar crops grown within the FCT, as well as the facilities, the public health facilities located within the FCT.
We should try, please, not to politicize this thing. It's about feeding children. So it's not about the relation of this councillor or somebody who is connected, even if not politically. Let's do them a favor. We should not lose sight of the fact that when we do those things, we actually affect the quality of food that goes to the children. And that is our ultimate objective. So I'm pleading that we should please make sure. The other thing is that we cannot deduct monies that go directly to the cooks. The money goes directly to them. This is our precondition. We will get their BVN and we will pay them directly.
Stakeholders drawn from the education, health, agriculture and private sector are called upon to ensure quality and prompt delivery of the feeding program in the FCT, as there are still 12 more states to go. Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service has set a revenue generation target of 146 billion naira for the FCT administration through the introduction of unique taxpayer identification number. To achieve this target, the service is working in collaboration with various data management agencies in the Federal Capital Territory in line with Section 7 of the FCT Internal Revenue Service Act of 2015. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service, Abdullahi Atta, who made this revelation while addressing the media in Abuja, also stressed that the service has generated over 1 million unique identification numbers for individuals and currently in the process of registering other taxpayers and agents. Atta, however, revealed that the service has generated a total sum of 19.6 billion naira from the month of January to March 2018, while regretting that the first month he assumed office, 50% of the tax paid went to Federal Inland Revenue Service.
Targeted revenue for 2018, and by the way, the budget is still being worked on. The FCT budget itself and our own budget. We're on terms of the FCT by our own budget. We're still working on it because we don't have any issue. We targeted to make 146 billion for 2018, and this is only in the area of tax and related tax matters. From Love FM, you said what's the revenue collection from January to date? I would say January to end of March is 12.1 billion. That's what we have collected. From leadership was concerned about multiple taxation with local government. Of course, we are addressing that. Even yesterday, I sent the secretary to represent us in a meeting between the FCT and the local councils, and that was the second one I ordered.
Meanwhile, he also commented on the alleged double taxation in the territory, affirming that the absence of a regulation gave room to multiple taxation in the past, which is being addressed by the new act, stressing that the new act intends to have unified tax collection system, which will enable the streamlining of taxation services for relevant authorities.
Before now, there is no harmony. So everybody was doing whatever he wanted. But now, we are meeting on a regular basis. We've had a second meeting now with the local councils, and the secretary represented me yesterday. So we're working on avoiding multiple taxation. What I have expressed to the local council chairman is that these are all their citizens and they are politicians. They need to take care of their own people. It is not their own interest that their own citizens will suffer multiple taxation. It doesn't happen. So we work on that jointly between the FCT and the local council.
FCT IRS Secretary Harisu Umar noted that it has been a controversial issue in the FCT on a tenancy rate, submitting that it requires more of a political solution rather than a legal solution, stating that the same constitution which empowers the local government councils to collect tenancy rates also provides that they could not do it until there was an act of the House of Assembly that defines the mode of assessment, collection, and enforcement of the rates.
We believe that the issue of tenement rate is something that requires more political solution than legal solution. The chairman has explained that we have been working in concert with AMAC to see how we can harmonize and how we can make progress. The issue is not about who collect what, but to ensure the collection of rates, taxes, revenues, and whatever due to government for the purpose of employing, for infrastructure, welfare, and the good living conditions of the people. So we are going to work hand in hand and see how we can resolve the issue between FCT administration or FCT IRS and AMAC.
The service assures residents that it would soon commence sending bulk text messages and emails to confirm the validation of taxpayers' registration details in the territory, adding that it will also start registration of enterprises, sole proprietors, and partnership establishments. convener of the Peace Justice Initiative on Christianity and Corruption, Otive Buzo, says a study on shun corruption was commissioned based on the understanding that there are ethical values in Christianity that abhor corruption. He made this known at the validation meeting on the Shun Corruption project in Abuja to mobilize Christians, especially Pentecostals, against corrupt practice, alongside Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria FCT Empowerment Network. Igbuzo at the meeting highlighted that the research topics to guide the teachings of Christians against corruption will include Christianity and the struggle for social justice, Christianity and political leadership of nations, amongst others.
Religious leaders have not given much emphasis to shaping the norms and values of people. So that today, people focus more on the material than on the spiritual. When you focus on the spiritual, then there will be issues of holiness. Then there will be issues of probity. Then you will take things about character, issues of integrity, more important. And from what we've seen so far, there's a lot of role that Pentecostal Christians especially can play in shaping the values and norms of society. We recognize that Pentecostal Christianity is probably the fastest growing religious group in the last century.
Coordinator, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria FCT Empowerment Network, on his part says the project will show where and how across the world the scriptural evidence has been used and where the practices has worked.
So for us as Christians, corruption is a spiritual deprivation, it's a spiritual breakdown. It is because that connection between man and God, that access to grace that empowers you to love your neighbor, to obey the will of God, is no longer there. And so you are now subject to elements, you are subject to situations and circumstances. So the fight that the church, will engage in against corruption must be from the spiritual perspective. We have been helping our people, engage more in the fear of God, helping them to see that whatever you do in words or in deed, affects your relationship with God ultimately. So, like the Bible says, Jesus said somewhere that some people will enter heaven and people will be wondering. And he said, whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, you are doing to me. So when you ensure that man had access to good roads, that man had access to, medical facility, that man had access to quality education, you are actually doing it for Jesus, and it's going to be part of the KPI. Permit me to use business terms. It's going to be part of, the indices for judging you at the end of time.
Meanwhile, for others, they believe that Christians have a binding principles in the Word of God to guide their doing, which should be followed by leaders of churches to build the capacity of Christians through messages.
The specific challenge we're looking at today is when you look at the church in Nigeria, corruption goes against its values. It goes against biblical precepts. It goes against all that Christianity stands for. The church, its members, must therefore play an active role as leaders and practitioners in the anti-corruption struggle. Secondly, we are looking specifically at the Pentecostal churches. The Pentecostalism is a rising force in Nigerian Christianity. And it is important that Pentecostalism, as a rising force, also provides leadership in the struggle against corruption.
These Christian leaders are hoping that the recommendations made from this meeting will aid Pentecostal fellowships across the country improve the characters of Christians on the fight against corruption. We'll take a breather here, and when we return, we'll bring you other exciting happenings in the nation's seat of power. See you shortly.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will fee give you 500.
Sure, this one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans. We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The majority of the law they pass belong to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. It's still your program, Abuja Today, that brings you highlights of happenings in the nation's capital territory. The FCT administration has lamented the huge burden posed by vandalism of public assets and critical infrastructure, which it has estimated to run into billions of naira. The administration, while decrying public a measure towards public assets, which it said emboldens the hoodlums to express readiness to leverage the very wide network of the National Orientation Agency in the concerted action to tame the ugly trend. The FCT Minister, Mohammed Bello, made this revelation in a paper he presented at a recent stakeholder conference on the protection, preservation, and community ownership of public assets and critical infrastructure organized by the National Orientation Agency.
Infrastructure development, preservation, and protection, according to stakeholders here, is a critical element in measuring the level of development of any nation. The National Orientation Agency is therefore asking Nigerians to protect and take ownership of the nation's critical infrastructure, as government is investing huge resources in building, constructing, and maintaining public infrastructure such as bridges, roads, electricity installations, among others.
It must be noted that unless this infrastructure are protected and the communities are encouraged to take ownership, the goals intended to be achieved through the current hard work and the investment in these areas may be short-lived.
The occasion attracted former Directors General of the agency, Idi Farouk, Tony Iradia, and Mike Omeri, who all shared opinions on how the agency can carry out sensitization against pipeline vandalism and destruction of national assets, which, according to them, impedes on national development if left unchecked.
We need to preserve, and for preservation, we mean that we must take care of what we have. Even in our homes, if you do not paint your house or do the necessary things to do, you also be like Nigeria is. So government itself must at all times note that it is important to budget for maintenance.
What is the rationale for setting up NOAA? Is it for political mobilization? No. Political mobilization is only one of the things that NOAA should do. And as the welcome address said, NOAA's mandate is everything. And once NOAA can see itself from that perspective, it's probably going to be in a better position to make the desired impact as a societal institution whose responsibility is attitudinal change.
Our critical infrastructure must address the human capital that we have.
For Nigerians to protect and take ownership of the nation's assets from being destroyed, NOA officials have expressed their readiness to carry out sensitization campaign across all the local government areas in the 36 states of the country.
Breaks here, and when we return, we'll bring you other happenings of activities in the nation's capital territory. Don't go anywhere.
If you are not idle, nobody will probably come and encourage you to join their gang or the group.
Yes. To keep Nigeria one is a must that must be done. Nigeria is not going to break.
So if I want to buy this one now, how much you go sell this one?
I will fee give you 500.
Sure, this one?
Yes.
This small banana?
Yes.
I know that Buhari can do it. He has a lot of plans. We should be praying for him. He's a human being. Anything can happen to anybody.
The authority of the law they pass belongs to them, to favor them, not the masses in Nigeria.
If we want to change, let's change generally. Don't let's change half. Let's change generally.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. Sapeyi of Gariki Usman Ngakupi has said that Nigerians' porous borders has contributed immensely to the proliferation of illegal arms by herdsmen. He made this known during a tour of Abuja Municipal Area Council and Buari Area Council to look into the issues of persistent farmers' herders crisis in Abuja. Bloodletting is not the answer to whatever problem that may exist between the herdsmen and the farmers, the traditional ruler of Gariki says. Instead, the needed peaceful coexistence will drive their individual and collective economy and other social interests, he emphasized.
It's a slap to all of us as Nigerians. The past years, even before we got our independence, we were all living peacefully. Either Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba,